Hello, and welcome to Keeper's Corner Podcast, where we're breaking down anything and everything Utica City FC related. With your hosts, as always, Matthew Sterling, Michelle Brooks, and Brandon Brooks. Let's go. Hello, welcome to another edition of the Keeper's Corner Podcast. We're back to discuss a win. Matt and Brandon are here. Huge upset over Milwaukee at home on Sunday with the 7-5 victory. Brandon, how you feeling after that?
I mean, I'm not upset. I don't know what you're talking about.
What?
What? You said it's an upset. I'm not upset. Are you upset?
I already told you I'm on, no sleep.
No.
Now you're getting witty and my brain's just not processing.
That's right. No, definitely a very important win, a very good win. And frankly, definitely could not be happier. Other than, if we had kept Ian Bend off the scoreboard, that would have been great. But you can only do that once a season, okay?
Look, if you go back to the December game, we kept him off the scoreboard for 108 minutes and 13 seconds consecutively, which is a ridiculous stretch against one of the best goal scorers in the league. So,
yes, it is.
And obviously that's because of our much improved defense with the return of Toby and the addition of Mijatovic. So, since we're talking about defense, you mind if I lead with my stat that tells the story?
Do it.
Okay. My stat, it's the blocked shots. Utica blocked 12 out of 28 shots, and Darren Toby had 5 of them himself. He's rounding back into that form we saw pre-COVID, and that is huge news.
There were so many opportunities that I watched him he was on one person, he saw it get past, and immediately transitioned to exactly where he needed to be to handle blocking that shot. So at least 3 or 4 times that I can think of. One of them being, I know one of them was against Ian Bennett. One of them, he literally kept it, just barely out of the goal. Just an awesome job by, the previous defender of the year. There's a reason. And he is starting to show it all over again. Absolutely great effort. Not just by him, but by all, honestly.
Yeah, just huge. I said I believe that the defense was back on track if they could hold Milwaukee and Baltimore and other teams in the playoff hunt besides Harrisburg to 5 or less goals multiple games in a row. And they just held Milwaukee to 5 goals in back-to-back games. So,
yes, it was absolutely, it was just great. It was great to watch. It was a hell of a game. Really enjoyed it. I was glad that I was able to make that one.
So what do you got for us?
Absolutely nothing. So this is twofold. This is both of my stat that tells a story.
Okay.
And my play that changed the game.
Okay.
It is one and the same. And that is our shorthanded single goal.
I knew you were going to take that one.
You gosh darn right I am. Number one, obviously, the stat, the shorthand goal.
Yes.
To make it 5-4 was just amazing. The fact that Hundelt and Nate were able to kind of recognize what was going to happen, specifically Nate, because, he was obviously the one that intercepted and scored, but Hundelt helped make that play happen too.
Mm-hmm.
So, between the two of them to actually be able to keep that pressure on, knowing that there was no support coming and still basically go technically 3-on-2, the 2 defenders plus Willie B, and still score was fantastic. So, it was just, that's what I felt not only energized the team, but energized the crowd was the fact that we got that shorthanded goal. And because we did get that shorthanded goal, we were able to, the way I looked at it is kind of like how they describe Ian Bennett as being inevitable. I felt they were going to score on that power play. And the fact that we got that goal and kept them chasing, even though they were on a power play, the fact we were able to keep them chasing and only have them catch up to us with 1 second left in that power play just made it all the sweeter that we scored that shorthanded goal, because otherwise we would have been chasing all over again. But because of that, they had to be the ones chasing our tail, not the other way around. So absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, easy play that changed the game there. I'm going to go a little bit earlier. And it's got to be the Gordy Gerson goal that tied the game for the first time. Because that one, I mean, I think even Gordy can be honest, that was a lucky bounce. Unless you're Milwaukee, then it was a very unfortunate bounce.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it kind of ricocheted off of a player, bounced off of a player, their own player, back into the goal. I mean, Thank you, appreciate it.
Wasn't doing anything wrong. Was trying to close down Gordy. Gordy had taken the shot. Willie B made the save. It looks like all's clear, and then it just bounces off of him and in.
Yeah. Man, I'm surprised. I thought you would have gone with the Segura no settle.
No, the Segura was just a beautiful shot.
That was,
I mean, it completely froze Willie B. But,
yeah, that was vintage Segura. That was, I mean, that's Segura chipping it from the yellow line kind of goal quality that we know and love from him. So no, fantastic showing from Utica in general. And the fact that we were chasing only for the first half of the game. From the third quarter onwards, they were chasing us. We were ahead the rest or tied the rest of the game. We never fell behind again. And the fact that we, I just want to say, brush off the shoulder. I got a prediction right. I said +2 Utica. Booyah. First one of the year. I never would have guessed 5-7, but 7-5, but you know what? I got +2. Who's the man?
That was a good win. That said, I think there's still, a little bit that can be worked on.
There always is.
We always talk about it. You got to even learn from your success. I'm sorry. Brandon, you were able to mute your mic in time, but the face you made on that. That's for those listening, Brandon just sneezed, and I don't know how to describe that face besides comedic gulp.
I was able to mute, dang it. I was proud of that. I was able to keep the button held down while I sneezed. And now he calls me out, even though I was able to make sure that my mic was muted for that whole thing. So you could just keep talking on. But no, you got to call me out.
You're the one who twitched around like the Wicked Witch of the West melting in rain.
I hate it here. I'm going home.
Bad news.
I know I'm already home.
All right, so what we got to work on for me.
Compose yourself, dang it.
Yes, composure. Because I just don't know why, but it seems like almost every game Utica comes out quite the opposite of what we saw in the beginning of the year, where they were gunning for it right out of the gate. And I'm just not seeing that sense of urgency until they're already trailing by multiple goals.
Sometimes we haven't necessarily seen it then either.
Yeah. but you got to play with that sense of urgency the whole game. You can't just come out and be like, we'll catch him, whatever, we'll catch him. Because it will backfire one of these days.
I mean, it kind of
and
has.
It
has. I mean, it almost backfired against Harrisburg. You know, like at least I'm muted.
Like I said, running on fumes here.
And you in a tiki mug.
It's Groot.
No, it's invisible.
It's a geeky tiki. We got the whole Guardians of the Galaxy.
Geeky tiki. Okay.
Yeah. But you just got to play with this.
I'm sorry. One of these days we need to do this with video so people can actually see this stuff.
I mean, I can always put the video up on YouTube. I just usually don't.
You're going to let me put nicer clothes on than this because...
Me with my plain black t-shirt, yeah.
They don't know I'm in my underwear. I mean, what? I'm not actually in my underwear, I promise.
No, whenever we get a guest on again, we can throw it back up and maybe, just maybe, that'll be happening soon.
That's when I'll throw on my my Empire jersey.
Well, you didn't say the F word, so you don't got to put $5 in the swear jar.
No, I'll put $2.50 in.
Yeah, like I was saying, I just want to see him play with that sense of urgency earlier. You know,
yes,
apply some pressure, just a little bit more consistent. You know, I mean, you're aware of it.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's definitely been a consistent problem. It's you don't feel it like that was something that even throughout this entire game, I did not feel like there was a sense of urgency. Even though, I mean, granted, we were ahead or tied, but that's not a place to feel safe. Even at 2 goals at the end of the game, granted, you know, there was basically no time to bring it back, but at that point, but 2 goals is nothing. As the great Philly over in, you know, for Empire says, I don't know why I'm referencing them, probably because I just watched their game over the weekend too. You know, when they were going against like San Diego, I mean, 6 goals isn't even safe for some teams. I mean, you know, 2 goal differential is nothing. I mean, we've made that up in 45 seconds before.
Yeah, we've also blown a 5-goal lead before.
We can talk about that. Keep it positive, man. Keep it positive. Come on.
But yeah, like you said, nothing's safe in this league. So
no.
All right.
Did you want something that I thought maybe needed to be worked on?
Yeah, I think that would be a great little thing. We got this nice little give and take going on. I think it's your turn.
Or do I need to, you know, come up there and stab you with a chopstick? Because I will. Because I have 2 of them right here. Actually, I have 3.
Why you have so many Why we're getting off on so many tangents in this one? It's gonna be.
It's great. It's not really a tangent. It's just, you know, I'm just gonna stab
observational.
Yeah, exactly. So something that we need to work on is. Wow. Observation. Matt, how did you know? Literally observation, team coordination. The fact that twice we passed the ball to no one because they were going off. We did it twice in one game. Literally the door's closing. Here comes the ball. Nobody there. And we gave it away. One of them, in particular, was the time when we basically gave it to Ian Bennett, and he had his little one-on-one with Coughlin. That Coughlin somehow was able to wrangle in, and then they challenged, and we got the goal right after. Like that could have been disastrous, and that was a giveaway. That was an absolute we passed it over there because there was somebody there a second ago, and then they were gone.
Yeah, I mean we've seen it in other teams. Like I think it happened to maybe the Sockers in their game against the Strikers, where they were playing it down the boards and they caught a guy as he was switching off and got called for 6 minutes. You know, the same thing that just happened to Milwaukee in this game, where a backheel pass to try to clear it away and out of your defensive third, and it just right into someone going for a switch. Yep.
And then they get called for 6.
Yep.
Womp womp. Their only penalty, their only card of the game. While as we were a little bit more rough and tumble. All thanks to Mijatovic, Fernandez, and Somo.
Yeah, that Mijatovic one. Watching him chase him down, I'm just like, he's not going to make it. He's got a bad angle. That's not going to. Yep, that's a blue card.
Yeah, I mean each one of them that was called. It's like, okay, yeah, that was a call. Yeah, that's a card. So it's unfortunate when you just recognize it, and it's just like, no, you're getting a card. You deserve that. No, the observation is absolutely one other thing that they need to work on is just knowing or seeing and knowing that your teammate's not there anymore.
Yeah. General field awareness.
Yes. Field awareness is perfect. But listen, I was just playing off of the fact you said, you were observing stuff. Well, now we're dealing with observation. Come on, give this one to me, would you? No respect.
Well, what if I give you this and say, why don't you take the positive takeaway first?
You won. Listen, I'm always going to start with that.
Yeah.
If it's something to positively take away from this, we won. Duh. Easy. Move on. Next. No. Touching back on what you talked about earlier with our defense, specifically Darren Toby. Darren Toby was back in pretty prime form in this game. I mean, there were multiple times when, as I mentioned earlier, he literally was covering one person, saw them about to pass or passing to someone else, recognized what they're about to do, and was in the perfect place at the perfect time to block to block a shot, block another pass, anything. Like he was spectacular this match. Now that's not to take away from anyone else, but I have to call out when somebody's doing exceptional, especially when it's been, a few years since he played with us.
Yeah.
So like absolutely amazing performance by Toby. That just sets the bar for the rest of them that, I would love to see them hit as well. Mijatovic is a great defenseman. I want to see him hit the Toby bar.
I guess to piggyback off your theme before I say that, you say, oh, it's a win. And that's obviously the most positive thing. How about it's the first time since moving from Syracuse that Utica has beaten Milwaukee in 5 tries.
I knew you were going to go there.
So that's obviously a positive.
Yes.
But to really build off your theme about guys that haven't played in a little bit, remember last week when we were speculating about who might play instead of Timmy with the back injury? And I said, well, maybe we'll see Steven Fernandez.
Yes.
And he'll have, he had that good chemistry going with Andrade.
Mm-hmm.
He hadn't played in a month. Guess who found Andrade for a goal?
Yes. Yes, he did.
And it wasn't just Andrade. He found another one. He had an assist with
Logan Roberts.
Yeah, Logan to start it off at the beginning.
I gave you a hint here. Listen, he can see me. Just so that y'all know. I was literally showing the Superman symbol.
Well, he has the new celebration thing now with the hand over the eye that I don't understand.
I mean, he wasn't the only one that did it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Hey, you probably didn't pay attention. Did you see Mr. Bordeaux's goal celebration?
No, I did not.
Paying homage to the one, the only Joey Tavernisi.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that after this little wrap up here.
No.
It happened, whether we like it or not.
No, it didn't happen. Nope. I don't accept it. Nope. I don't want it.
What are we denying the existence of?
Florida. Florida doesn't exist.
I mean, look, there are days that I would like to do the Bugs Bunny thing and just saw that state off.
Anyway, fine.
Yeah. Before Utica could pull off this upset, there was some shocking news.
Shocking.
I mean, I definitely didn't see this trade coming. What about you?
No. Not in a million years would you have told me that this was going to happen.
Utica sent Joey back to Florida for future considerations, and then turned around and brought in Taylor Walter Bond from Harrisburg, who'd been there for 2 weeks and played 2 games and then not the last game against Utica after being sent from Florida for cash. And
money.
On paper, I don't get the trade.
No. Clearly,
it's not a salary. It's not a salary dump if you're getting rid of one guy and then spending money to go get another.
Yeah. Clearly, there was something going on behind the scenes we don't know about, and we can only speculate on. So that's my guess, is that something just was going on behind the scenes that pushed him out. And I don't know what it is, but it makes me very sad. Because, he's been doing well for us. We were a bit negative about him for a little while. Not even this season. Maybe a little bit this season, but more last season. Then he made us eat crow and started coming out with a vengeance, and I loved it. I told him to his face that I loved it. And I told him, I said, I hope you prove me wrong more. And, he had a pretty good season with us this season. I mean, I believe it was 10
assists.
Yeah, he was basically a point, 13 points for 13 games. Like, you can't ask for you can ask for more, but that's pretty good. Yeah. Like, that's a good performance.
He's a top 5 scorer on the team.
Yeah. So, no, I don't. Again, like you said, from an on-paper perspective, doesn't make any sense. So clearly there's something else going on that we just don't know about.
Yeah, that's my best guess. Simply, like you said, he had 10 goals, 3 assists in 13 games for Utica, whereas Bond, who by all accounts is a great guy, had a huge season back in 2016-17, but hasn't really done anything excessive since that. He's had a couple 20-point seasons.
Yeah, he hasn't had an exceptional showing. He had some fancy footwork this game. He didn't score for us, but
he was certainly key on that Hundo goal. Where he cut back, dragged 2 defenders, and then slid the ball right between them to find Nate, who carried it up, and then tic-tac-toe in the net it goes.
Yeah, he absolutely made some opportunities happen. And also, there was one thing that he actually got the crowd really going and was just like really impressed a lot of people. Like got some wows from our section. It was very early in the game. He got past the ball in traffic in the box and did some fancy footwork, got around 3 of them and got out of the box. Now, he wasn't able to turn and score. There was no way he was going to do that. They had him blocked off.
Yeah.
But the fact that he got out of that mess with the ball was spectacular. It was just awesome. So that was great. Absolutely thumbs up performance from me.
Yeah, we'll see how he fits in. He did play, I think it was 14-15 that Everton was playing in Chicago for a season. So there's some familiarity there, kind of like the fact that Everton coached Mijatovic for the COVID year in St. Louis and played with Gordy and was the coach in Cedar Rapids. So there's a lot of familiarity there with his style of play, with his style of coaching. But yeah, it's a weird one on paper that I'd love to know some more reasons for.
Yeah, that's, we may never get the answers we want, but definitely very curious.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where it is. We wish Joey all the best of luck, except when he's playing Utica. Hopefully he doesn't go off like Reggett did against Florida when he comes back on the 12th. We don't need a 5-goal performance against us.
Shush. Shush! You keep that evil out of this house.
Yeah, that's where things are, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I don't know. We'll see how things finish up in the end of the season.
Can't really say fortunately until we see Bond, perform.
Well, that's why I said fortunately or unfortunately. We don't know which it'll end up being,
Yeah.
Who can say? We'll figure it out with 2020 vision in 10 games, because that's all that's left in the season.
Which is crazy to think about, that we're already coming towards the tail end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of dug a little bit at the schedule this morning and saw that besides the fact that there are only 10 games left, there are 10 games, and there are 8 games of which are over the next 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
7 of those 8 games are against, or 7 of the 10 games left are against teams with a better record than Utica currently has. We get Harrisburg 3 times, and the rest are Florida, Baltimore, Chihuahua, Monterey.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough 10-game stretch to finish things out.
In other words, it's the perfect time for Utica to pick it up.
Really show us what they're made of.
Please.
But because of that, like I said, we get 2 games every weekend for the next 4, starting this weekend. Utica plays Friday night down in Harrisburg at 7:30, Family Show Arena at the Equin Arena. We've seen Utica win there before. They did earlier in this year, a 4-3 win.
Yes.
It'll be interesting to see if Harrisburg uses any of the guys that they got from Kansas City who didn't make the trip to Utica 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Tetzani certainly adds some offense to them. Like Silva, and then Schmerman could certainly help shore up their defense.
Absolutely.
Vosvik.
Which Vosvik has still been, still give kudos to him. I mean, he's had a tough season, but we've seen him do some crazy stuff in that goal.
Yeah, it's been a tough but a good rookie campaign for him.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
That game will be broadcast on the Sirius FC soccer channel. I think it's like 157.
How serious is it?
Yeah, so if you have Sirius XM and you can't watch the game, you can at least listen to it in your car or wherever.
I will only listen if it's Big Z. I know it's not Big Z.
I don't know. They might just let him call it because he's done the past 2 weeks.
If it was Big Z, I'd listen. But otherwise, I'm just going to watch it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. That one's down in Harrisburg.
Yep.
And then Sunday, Utica comes back home for a 3:05 match against Baltimore. Baltimore will be playing Harrisburg on Saturday night, where they have yet to win a game this year.
In Harrisburg.
To
be clear. Yep.
I absolutely blow them out of the water at CQ, but Baltimore has continued to play really well at home and really poorly on the road. I mean, not really poorly. They almost beat Utica, but they haven't been able to close things out on the road at all this year. Baltimore only has 1 win on the road.
Which one was that?
Oh, gosh. That was maybe like St. Louis.
I am going to find out because I don't remember either.
They're 1-4-2 on the road.
Oh, for some reason, I thought we started our season against them and it was at home, but that was...
No, we started down there.
Yeah, that's what it was. We started down there
Oh, that's right. Baltimore's one win was that game against Florida that we had on in the background while we were recording back in December.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. Yeah, where they beat them by 4.
Yes.
At the RP Funding Center. That's what it was. Yep. And then 2 days later, they got stomped at the RP Funding Center 7-3.
But big weekend, 6 points up for grabs, which is certainly becoming more and more important as the season winds down. Especially because every time it looks like Utica is going to get a little help for some breathing room, St. Louis then has a game against a team that just doesn't quite perform, or is Dallas.
Hey, listen, Dallas is going to find a win. Like Ra-Cha-Cha. We got to start rooting for them. They will get a win as long as it's not against us. Which
I was rooting for them to win against. Well, we don't play them this year.
Yeah, we don't. I was going to say we don't play them. So
I was rooting for them Monday against St. Louis, and they fell short there.
Well, one of these times, they're going to win. They're going to get a win this year. I hope.
But as things stand, with 6 weeks left in the season, 10 games for Utica. St. Louis has 8, so we do have that nice 2-game buffer.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which I don't think the Ambush play this weekend. Oh, they do. They play Chihuahua at home. But there's a chance for us to pad our lead a little bit, because right now we're tied at points with 16, which is why it's very important that we win at least one of these 2 games.
Yes. One would be good. 2 would be preferable.
Gotta get at least 4 points.
That way we can, beat Baltimore more than once this season.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, we're beating a bunch of teams that we didn't beat last year. Well, I shouldn't say a bunch. 2. Yeah. we beat Milwaukee, which we have not beaten since we became Utica, and we have now beaten Baltimore, which we could not do last season. I don't even think we came close.
Yeah.
So, but they had our number last season. What can I say?
I don't know. How do you like our odds Friday night?
Friday night, I think I like our odds pretty well. As long as we don't do what we did the last time we played Harrisburg at home, which is kind of take the foot off the pedal on offense. Still have it pedal to the metal on defense, because we had a pretty good defense. Very low scoring game. I would like to see. I'm still waiting for that statement game. I'm still waiting for that. Hey, Baltimore put them away. 11-3. Let's do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, am I looking for double digits? No, maybe. But I like to see it. Sure. Help that goal differential that you're so keen on.
Yeah, it would be great if we could get 2 wins this weekend. We'd be back at 500 for the first time since we lost the 4th game of the season to go to 2-2.
That would be kind of nice. Being at 50% would be nice. Haven't seen that for a while. I would take that. But for Friday, I think it's a Utica win. I mean, there's no reason to say otherwise.
Oh, well, we can say this right now. They will not have Tetsane. He's serving a 1-game suspension.
Okay, so they won't have one player. Yep. But one thing I don't see on there is talking about like Oxy being out, talking about they had a bunch of them out the past few weeks.
Yeah.
So I mean, if Hoxie's returning and he's, he might be a little bit ginger, settling into things, gingerly trying to get back in. Like a lot of players do. That means that they might have some returning players this week. Mm-hmm. Could end up either bolstering their, and some new people, as you mentioned. So, I mean, it could help them. It could also hinder them because that's a lot of adjustment that needs to be made to their team, their makeup.
Yeah.
I'm sure that some of these guys have, obviously they've been practicing, I'm sure, but we've seen it before with wholesale changes. I mean, Utica making changes almost every week last season. This, it could be good or bad. So I'm curious to see how it turns out for them, but I still see it being a Utica win this weekend for Harrisburg, or against Harrisburg in Harrisburg.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm actually going to say I'm going to be optimistic and I'm going to go +3. Not giving you a score. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm sticking to that formula. Okay. So +3 Utica.
Yeah, let's see. It looks like the last game that Harrisburg played, which was last Sunday against the Blast, where they lost 7-1.
Uh-huh.
They did have Mike DeSilva in this lineup. Tetsani was in there, but he picked up 7 penalty minutes, which is why he's out this next game on a suspension. Yeah, I like Utica to win this one. We just have been really good on that turf down there at the Farm Show Arena for some reason. I don't know why.
We have, compared to other teams. Other teams seem to struggle on that turf. We don't seem to have that problem. Knock on wood.
Now, disclaimer, Utica does have a injury report out at this point. Correa will continue to be out with his lower body injury. Nate, Rafa, Ronnie, and Goldman are all listed as questionable.
Okay. I'm not surprised on Timmy. That one doesn't really surprise me.
Or Rafa, he's been dealing with that hamstring, and those things can just nag forever.
Nate, I'm wondering if it's just a potential personal conflict, because he didn't really, that I saw, didn't really take any big hits in
it could have happened at training game. Yesterday or today.
Yeah, it could be a bunch of things. I'm going to hope that it's just a personal conflict, not a injury. Yeah. So I'm just going to go with that. Hopefully they can make it, and if they don't, then next man up, boys.
Yeah, no, I like Utica to get this win. I'm going +2 for Utica. Bosvic's just looks like he's going to be a darn good goalkeeper if he ever gets a defense in front of him.
Yes, agreed.
Also looks like as long as they're not missing 6 guys due to injury again, they won't have Healy out on the field. And he certainly helped keep them in line being on the turf when he was.
Oh, yeah. It seemed like it was very beneficial having him on the turf for them. Mm-hmm. Like having that coaching presence right there on the turf.
Kind of like what we saw from Pablo Da Silva last year when he was with Utica. He directed traffic. He was very much quarterbacking that team on the field.
Yeah, no, it was noticeable. That was the game that I was down in the beer garden for, and it was very noticeable that it was, he just had up close and personal coaching, and to me, it kind of offers an advantage, like not in a obnoxious way, not in a unsportsmanlike way. Just it offers them an advantage, and it worked. That's why I think that's part of the reason why they were able to do so well against Utica, in Utica even. So yeah, just go back. Don't be on the field. No.
Yeah.
Bad.
No. I think Utica gets away with the win there. Could give us a 2-goal advantage, I hope.
I mean, there's nothing to give us an indication otherwise.
Yeah.
So that's why I have no problem going with Utica winning.
Yeah. Our defense is rounded into shape, and Andrew Coughlin has played some of the best soccer of his life over the past few weeks.
Coughlin's been really bringing it. Like, we've been seeing vintage Mr. Stretch.
Right. So let's say we get out of Harrisburg with a win. We're coming back home, 19 points. We're 7-8. Here comes Baltimore, Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock. Now, they just played 20 hours ago in Harrisburg and then had to travel. We've seen them beat us after travel before.
Yes, we have.
But I don't know what it is about this year's version of the Blast. They were always better at CQ Arena. They had an advantage there. But they were a 500 team on the road.
Yeah.
And they have not played anywhere close to that.
Yeah, they've definitely been... They've struggled on the road. Anytime they're outside of CQ Arena, they seem to struggle. I don't know. I think you had that. What was their stat again for away from CQ?
They're 1-4-2.
1-4-2. So yeah, they're 25%.
Yeah,
basically.
Which means they have these 2 games this weekend and then another 7 on the road after that. Still.
Yeah. So that can
or not 7 because it's 12 and 12. Not
numbers. Numbers, Matthew. Numbers.
Yeah. So they got 5 games. So they'll have 3 more after this weekend on the road.
It's okay. It's okay, everyone. His brain is getting there, I promise.
Utica's got 6 on the road to end the year, one of which is this weekend, and then 5 more after that. So,
yeah. So I mean, that's the fact that they've gone 1-4 on the road, which I mean, even against us last season, they went undefeated on the road.
Yeah.
Or at home or on the road, they went undefeated against us. We've already broken that. I'm going to remain positive. I still think Utica takes this one. They've got the home turf, which we've seen that make a difference. We saw it make a difference last time. We beat them in weird fashion, but we won. I would like a before the last second win. Yeah, I still think we only. I think we only win by 1. I think it's going to be.
It's going to be tight. These games always.
Yeah, I think it's going to be right around the same too. I think it's going to be like a 7-6 or a 6-5 or an 8-7. It's going to be something like it's going to be in that range of 5 to 8 goals for the winning side, and it's going to be by 1.
Yeah. I like Utica to win. Baltimore just doesn't seem to have the endurance on the bigger field. I shouldn't say bigger fields, on the regular size fields. Yeah. Like I just went back and looked. So going back to 2018-19, Baltimore was 10-2 at home that year, 7-5 on the road. 19 into the COVID, they were 10-2 at home, 5-6 on the road. Last year, they were 7-5 at home. They were 5-4-2 on the road.
Yeah.
Now they missed a road game because of that whole COVID thing and not being able to go to Milwaukee, and then this year they're 1-4-2. So to repeat last year, they'd have to win the next 4 road games. And I just don't see that happening for them.
I was going to say, which is a tough ask for any team.
Yeah.
So let's just hope they don't do it.
Yeah. No. I think Utica gets out of here with, I'm going to say 5 points this weekend.
I like that.
I could see them pushing us to overtime, but 5 or 6 points would be huge.
Agreed.
You got to get at least 4. Can't go into Harrisburg and not get out of there with points.
Points. Eat all the points. Be greedy.
Yeah. Exactly. And then next week, we get to recap these games and talk about Mexico.
Bring us back some good stuff, including wins.
Specifically wins, but yeah. Kind of weird this year. This is the first time that Utica's been a team, and I haven't gone to a road game, or we'll have the chance to go to a road game.
Yeah. Haven't even. We had talked about potentially going to Harrisburg, but it literally would have been this weekend, and it's not going to happen. There's no way we're going to be able to do it. No way we can pull it off.
Go to Baltimore.
I wouldn't hate it. I would hate it, but I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, fans were nice to us when we were there.
Yeah, and that's how it should be.
Yes.
That's how it should be everywhere. In the game, yeah, sure, hate each other, whatever, but don't take it too far. As soon as before the whistle and after the whistle is done, just be like, good game. I hate you, but good game.
Yeah.
You suck. Now let's go buy. And I'll go buy a beer. Come on.
Yeah, it's nice to get out and see these other venues.
Yes, agreed.
St. Louis is on the list. Kansas City, if we ever play them again, is on the list. I'd love to get to Milwaukee. They look like they have a great time.
Yeah, that definitely looks like a very fun arena to get to. No, I think my top three have to be, since we've already been to Harrisburg, so I can't count that one. My top three definitely has to be, Empire, just because, we had so many dealings with Philly and Doctor, and so between that and then Milwaukee's definitely a very close second. And then I would not mind making a KC game. Mm-hmm. I think that would be my third for sure. So definitely my top three.
Yeah, Ontario, despite the way the game went last year, it was a very enjoyable experience. You can, if you're feeling adventurous, you could walk from the airport to the arena. It's like 1.5 miles away.
That's not bad at all.
There's some roads that I wouldn't want to cross on foot, but
adventure. Buying stunts.
Yeah. If Utica wants to upgrade their seats to cushioned ones that have cup holders, I would be all for that.
Ooh.
Yeah, Toyota Arena is nice.
Now that's fancy.
Hey, do you see that thing I posted today about another potential specialty weekend idea?
Do you think I watch anything that you post?
I don't know.
I definitely didn't see the thing about maple syrup.
Okay. Well, this weekend's the mascot game, which is always a good one.
Yes.
And then there's nothing until the end of year fan appreciation. But yeah, I was like, you know what? I went to sugaring offs as a kid. They were fun. You got some maple syrup taffy.
Ooh.
So what that is, it's they basically boil the maple syrup past the maple sugar past the point of where it would be usable as syrup.
Okay.
You put it on like a tongue presser or a popsicle stick, and you drop it in the snow to quick harden up, and then you get nice maple taffy out of it.
Okay.
Another name is just maple snow candy.
Sounds pretty good.
It's a huge industry. There's some local taps. I kind of just threw the stupid name of the Maple Tears in there to spite the other teams that are the fans of teams that are like, Utica City FC. Oh my God, it's so unoriginal. They need a nickname. And then they're like, who do you support? The team that changed the word soccer with one letter, and we made it a mascot.
Oh, come on now. At least it's kind of creative.
Hey, there's the Stars, Dallas in the NHL, or the Heat, who are playing this weekend in Miami in the NBA, or the Comets, who are share the building with us?
Yeah, we have our own comments. Ha ha.
Yeah. We don't need a creative name. But yeah, it was just a dumb name to throw to kind of be like, fine, if you want us to have a mascot name, we'll do it once or twice a year, and it'll be dumb. It'll be so dumb you shut up about it.
Shut up about it.
God. When they do specialty weekends in the minor leagues, you get the Syracuse salt potatoes.
I love salt potatoes.
Yeah, it's a great, that's a great fun little mascot name.
Yeah. I would chase him. I would chase that mascot down and eat him.
Like, I don't like the Mets. I mean, as a Yankees fan, I just don't like the Mets. I go to that game when the Scranton team comes to town and I can root for the Yankees prospects. But every time I'm like, I kind of want some of that Syracuse salt potatoes gear.
I would just want the salt potatoes.
So I also threw the name in for, like, if we did a National Lager Day thing, the Bootleggers.
Ooh, the Bootleggers. That would be. That's all right. I see you.
Yeah. Yeah. But the Hootery picked it up and said that they would be on board with it.
Never mind. Not going there. Not. No. Thought of another mascot name, but I think that one might be taken by a restaurant and not family friendly. So I'm not going to go there.
You know what the Hootery is, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
I know what the Hootery is. Yes.
Yeah, mascot game this Sunday. And if you don't have enough mascots, about the time that Utica ends should roughly be the time that St. Louis goes to halftime, and they're also doing a mascot game on Sunday.
Double the mascot games, double the fun.
Yeah, the mascot game is one of the good promotions that Utica does.
Like I said, we know that they need to do some work. You know, we know that some have fallen flat.
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because of the events that followed and the game that happened.
Yeah, which I don't think is reason to abandon it, but
no,
to each their own.
That's, you know, that I would be a little bit self-conscious about doing another one if that was the case. You know, I wouldn't want to do another one if it was going to potentially end in a disaster like that. Now, I'm not going to say that that's the reason we haven't had one, but it's, I'm sure, a distinct possibility.
Yeah. I mean, we had the Karate Kids there and then blew the 5-goal lead against Kansas City in the fourth quarter, and yet the Karate Kids keep coming back.
Oh, I was going to blame the Karate Kids for our shutdown the first time. We had Harrisburg, Karate Kids. We were supposed to play Milwaukee next. Shut down. We had Harrisburg this time. Karate Kids. We didn't shut down, and we beat Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to add this week?
No, I think I'm good.
I think we covered everything. Hopefully we'll have some news about a guest.
I mean, we haven't had one yet, so
not this year.
We typically have one in at least, you know, once a year. So yeah. We're due.
We're overdue.
Like a library book.
Well, does that mean if I bring like some canned goods to give to the local food bank, all my fines will be forgiven?
You have fines? Do tell.
Well, like an overdue library book. I'm overdue on getting a guest, so if I just donate some food to charity, will we be good?
Didn't know that was a thing. So I learned something new today.
At least it was in Mohawk, so.
All right, fair enough.
Right. I think that's everything. Yeah. Make sure you tune into Twitch on Friday night, if you can make the game on Sunday, make it loud, make it raucous. We just had the best crowd of the season. Let's keep that going. I'd love to see a sellout this year. It's been a while.
Yes, we absolutely need a sellout. We need noise. It was thunderous in that arena, and I want to hear it again. I don't want to be able to hear when I leave for a few minutes.
Yeah, I like when it's loud because then people like us don't have to do as much work. You know, you start a cheer and it takes like 2 tries and then everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
And just kind of save your voice until the next one.
Mm-hmm. It's great.
Or to yell at the referees if you're me.
Yeah, you really like doing that.
Yeah, I do.
Especially when it's certain ones.
Well, I have high standards. What can I say?
You're just a sassy one, aren't you?
Oh, my God, I'm so prissy. Oh, okay. I think we're officially done with this. I'm too tired to keep going without going way off the railroad track.
Wrap it up, slap a bow on it, put it in a box, and wait till Sunday.
All right. Well, he's Brandon. I'm Matt. You find us on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. We got that TeePublic store, and those Gordy shirts are still selling. So get yourself some Kid Dynamite or some Sensational or Bo Nose or Mr. Stretch. Or if you're going down to the beer garden, maybe you want the shirt that says Beer Garden Don't Start Till I Walk In. Or if you're getting ready for UCSC After Dark, there's the Let's Get Weird neon ones.
I like getting weird. It's fun.
Yeah, we got a bunch of options. Otherwise, thank you for listening. As always,
you already said it.
Go Utica. Hey everyone, thanks for listening to the Keeper's Corner podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to us so you never miss an episode. If that podcast app also has reviews, be sure to leave us 5 stars to let us know how we're doing and reach a larger audience. It really helps us out. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Keeper Corners Pod. And you can always find us there talking UCFC soccer. Thanks again for the support. It's truly appreciated. One last thing. Go Utica.